Hello, in this video we're going to go over how to create and save QR codes in Python. So the first thing you need to do is understand what a QR code is. I'm sure you've seen one it's a quick response code and is essentially a vertical barcode and is used a lot for mobile phones. Well, not in mobile phones, but to send people to links in public. Also, in event tickets, you will often find a QR code to scan for admittance to an event. So let's go over. Let's start here. So you're going to need the module QR code. So if you don't know how to get that, there's videos on the channel on how to install modules. But anyway, we're going to import this, and to make a simple QR code, all you have to do is assign this QR code to a variable. So QR, for example, and we're going to call the library, call the make method, and pass in the data that we're going to put into the QR code. In this case, I'm just going to type the string hello, and then we're just going to save that as a image. Let's just call it qrcode.png, PNG, and that's going to save it as a PNG file. So whenever you run this code, we will produce a QR code, which when scanned with a mobile phone, I don't know if you'll need, it depends on your device and what it depends on your device whether or not the default camera will work for this. Otherwise you're going to need to install an app. But whenever I scan this with my default camera app for the iPhone 7, since this is a text QR code, it's putting up asking me to search the web for the word hello, because that's what the QR code contains there. So that's how you make a simple QR code. Now I'm going to show you how you can customize this a little bit more. Okay, so that's not letting me delete that because we're using it currently. Okay, that's fine. We'll just delete this. Thank you. Oh, can't delete it. Okay, well I'll just quickly delete that there for us. Okay, so we'll just delete that. Okay, so that's gone now. Great. So let's delete those two lines. And we'll start again, this time defining our class for the QR code. So again, setting the class as like a Q as a variable, so QR. So QR equals QR code dot QR code. Okay. So in here we can put in a multiple parameters. So the first one we can put in is version. Okay. Now, what is version? So version is a number. Can be a number between 1 to 40, and it dictates the size of the overall QR code. So I believe the default is 1. So that's what I showed you there in the previous one. So let's make the version 5 just to show a difference. In fact, maybe make it 10. That might make it a bit more visible. The next parameter we can pass in is the error correction. And this is essentially is the way of encoding the QR code so that if there is an error, the data can still be retrieved. Now, I'm not an expert on this, and the documents aren't very clear on this, but I've got the documents here. So the error correction parameter here can be these four constants. So the L means 7% or less. The errors can be corrected. M is 15, which is the default. Q is 25. H is 30. Hopefully your QR codes will be fine. The default is M. So we're just gonna define that there. Sorry, hold on. Error constant there, M. There we go. As that. Even if you leave this parameter out, it will default to this error code M there. So that will be that. Again, not an expert on the error correction bit there. Now, box size is the next parameter we can have a mess with. And this is interesting. So this is how big you want the actual black square of the QR code, how big you want that. So we're going to make it 15, but you can have a mess about with that. And you can also have a mess about with the border, which is how thick you want the white lines between the QR code and the end of the image. So I'm just going to make it 5 there, okay? So that's our little QR code defined there. So we're going to actually have to pass in some data here. And it's slightly different to the way we did it before. We're just going to define a variable. Let's call it data. And this time, let's use a link. So we're going to use google.com. There. And yeah, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to add the data to the QR code by doing qr.add_data, and then we're going to pass in the data. Now I just want you to bear in mind that this can be whatever variable name you want, so you could call it what would you call it? Quick response code equals, and then you just have to change this to the corresponding name there. But we're just going to keep it QR for simplicity. But I'm just saying it doesn't have to be QR. Anyway, and now we can make the QR code, and there's a parameter in here that I want to show you. It's called the fit. The fit parameter. So this can either be true or false. And if it's true, the computer or the library or the code will configure the sizing of the QR code to make it fit the image better. So I would leave this on true, but you can turn that off to false. So the last bit is to make the image. So we're just going to do image equals qr.make_image. And we're going to pass in these two parameters, fill_color equals, and then this will be the color of the for lack of a better term, squiggles or pixels or squares on the QR code. So those are typically black, so we're going to make it as black there. And then we're going to make the background color, so that will be back_color equal to white. Okay, as it normally is in most media. So, and then we're just going to do image save my qr.ping. Okay, so let's run this now. process finished. And when we look at this, now look at that difference between the one I showed you earlier and this one. So yeah, it's the same sort of deal. Still works perfectly fine, but the QR code itself, the square is bigger. Reason being, we changed the version from 1 to 10, so that'll be 10 times as big as the one we had before there. So it looks pretty big now, and you don't often see those that large. And of course, as I said, this will go up to 40. I could show you that now. Actually, we'll just run this. So this will be the maximum, I believe. So yeah, as you can see, massive QR code, massive size. Yeah, so interesting, and I'll show you that now. These don't have to be black and white. You can make these quite customizable. So any basic color, such as red, and on a blue background, for example, you can do, which allows for a great deal of customizability for the QR codes. You can customize them a lot. There you go. There's the same one in red and blue. Let's change that back to 1, and then let's make it green for the front, foreground color, and yellow for the background color. And there we go, you see. So QR codes are really useful, and I hope this video was useful. Code download will be in the description. Thanks for watching.